माननीय सदस्य श्री ए राजा जी।
Madam Chairperson, thank you for the opportunity given to me to express my views on behalf of the DMK party. I have received the courageous speech of Honorable Minister with rapt attention, and I wondered where he got such a courage to explore the entire cock and bull stories in the parliament. Sir, Madam, I dare to say the Honorable Minister, please go through your speeches tomorrow by text. Compile the text and do tally with the JPC report and the documents submitted with the JPC. If it tallies, I will resign from this house. You recall your memory. When you introduced this bill, you said what prompted to introduce this bill. One of the classical examples that has been given by you, the reason for this bill to be piloted, when you introduced, in Tamil Nadu, in Tiruchirappalli district, entire village, running thousands of acres, were described as work property. JPC came into Tamil Nadu, the district collector came to depose evidence, and the secretary of the revenue department came to the evidence. CEO of the upward came to evidence. All three officers came to JPC. The chairman is sitting here. Deposed the evidence. The cock and bull story that has been built by you and expressed by you has been demolished. In spite of the cock and bull story, no interference. No interference. Having said the cock and bull story, now we are coming at new cock and bull stories to say the parliament was given to work board. Sir, madam, the irony is that the minorities' rights are going to be protected by way of this bill, where the party is having no members of parliament Muslim community. There is no Muslim MP to introduce and pilot the bill and support the cause of the bill. They are not able to produce a single member of parliament, and they are giving moral advice to us how the secularism can be protected. Madam Chairperson, today it is a remarkable day for the Indian Parliament to design our destiny, whether the country is going to travel, whether this secular country is going to travel in the path which was well beaten by the forefathers of the freedom fighters on the constitution, or a negative path as decided by the communal forces in the country. Sir, I want to start my speech by quoting the Tamil Nadu Assembly passed a resolution. The resolution was moved none other than the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Mr. M.K. Stalin. The resolution unanimously passed. The stand that I quote, our stand, the work bill introduced by the Parliament against the minority rights, against religious freedom, unconstitutional, contrary to the purpose of work, inconsistent with judicial findings, unnecessary and confusing. If passed, it will cripple the Waqf institutions and harm the Muslim community. Therefore, the Assembly urges Union Government to completely withdraw the Waqf Amendment Bill. Unquote. Madam Chairperson, is it not a paradoxical question that the political will, sovereign will of the entire country seems to be or deemed to be reflected in this house, whereas Tamil Nadu political will reflected in the state assembly is something not only inconsistent, completely diametrically opposite. This difference and diametrically opposite component is not going to be accepted by you, then there will be a question for integrity of this country. Please note it. Madam Chairperson, I want to take back the House in the year 1949, soon after the independence, when the Constitution was mad. The constitution making process was on. Of course, you will be happy that your own favorite leader, the iron man of this country, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, favorite leader of the government, they are celebrating with false claims. However, I want to put forth my views from the mouth of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, who was the chairman of the advisory committees for minorities in the Constitutional Assembly. He was the chairman. Who are all the members? President of India and President of the Assembly, Rajendra Prasad, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, later Prime Minister, Dr. Ambedkar, and Dr. Munshi. Headed by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, the committee took a decision and a report was placed before the Constitutional Assembly. The Constitutional Assembly report was placed on 25th May 1949. He himself says, I quote, a committee of 5 persons was appointed by the advisory committee in which our revered president was also one of the members. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, myself, Mr. Munshi and Dr. Ambedkar were the members of the committee. The committee met and made its report in February. Unquote. Finally, he placed the report and moved in the Constituent Assembly. What was his prayer when he was moving? I quote again. If they, that is Muslims, I quote, if they really have come honestly to the conclusion that in the changed conditions of this country, it is in the interest of the all to lay down real and genuine foundation of a secular state, then nothing is better for minorities than to trust the good sense and sense of the fairness of the majority and to place confidence in them. First part, unquote. Second part is very important. Again I quote. So also, it is for us to happen to be the majority to think about what the minorities feel and how they are treated. But in the long run, it would be in the interest of the all forget that there is anything like majority and minority, this country and that India, there is only one community. With these considerations, sir, I beg to move that report may be adopted, unquote. This is the voice of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel in the Constitutional Assembly. You are celebrating See, now the problem is we want to harvest the legacy of the Sardar Patel. Those who wanted the legacy of the Sardar Patel in the constitutional terms are opposing the bill. Those who wanted to erect the statue of Vallabhbhai Patel and erase the concept of Vallabhbhai Patel wanted to support this bill. That is the problem. Sir, if I am permitted to go to the genesis of the work, which was originally enacted in the year 1954. After that, the act was amended frequently 59, 64, 69. Thereafter, comprehensive amendments were made in the year 1984. My sincere question to the Treasury benches and the Honorable Minister. Right from the 1984, whenever amendments were brought in this House, there was a basis. There were deliberations. There were consultations with stakeholders, which was appointed by either by the Parliament or by the President of India or the Prime Minister of India. 1984 amendment came into existence on the basis of the report submitted by the Waqf Enquiry Committee appointed by the Government of India in the 1970 by the Parliament. So a committee was formed in the year 1970. The report was placed. After 14 years, the amendments were made. I surprised when I went through the document in 1970. What a beautiful and sensible deliberation took place in 1970. In spite of that, the protests were made against 1970. Late, it came in 1984. Madam, if at all so many recommendations were made in 1970, in 1984, the Parliament was enabled to take 2 amendments. One is for limitation, which was extended to 30 years for the work properties. The second one is the act applicable to the Iwaki properties. No other provisions were implemented. Not because of the protest of the Hindus, the protest by the Muslims themselves. It was fairly accepted by the Nehru and government. After that, 1995 Act came into existence. I am an antibiotic, so that I have to take. See, what I wanted to impress upon the minister and the house, whenever the amendment came into existence, on the reasonable basis, on the institutional outcome, the amendments were done. Take 1995. 1995, how the act came into existence? Sorry. In 1985, the reason, statement objection reason, para 2 I quote, comprehensive amendments of the Waqf Act were made in the year 1984, which were based largely on the recommendation of the Waqf Enquiry Committee set up in December 70 to inquire the administration of Waqf all levels and response to a demand made by the Parliament members during the discussion of Waqf bill. Only 2 amendments. Thereafter, the demand was made by the Muslim community to have a relook, and accordingly, it was placed in the Parliament, and 1995 Act came into existence. Now again I come to 2013. 2013, on what basis? Para 2 of the reasons and objectives. The Prime Minister's High-Level Committee for Preparation of Report on Social, Economic and Educational Status of Muslim Community, in its report submitted to the Prime Minister on 17 November 2006, which is known as Sachar Committee report. So what I wanted to say, whether it is 84, whether it is 95, whether it is 2013, there were bases, there were consultations, there were consensus arrived. Then the white paper was filed to the Parliament. Then they brought the amendments. Now tell me, please tell me, on what basis this bill is being brought in house? On what basis? You can say so many stakeholders. How many stakeholders came to the JPC and substantiated our claim? Nothing. Sir, madam, all right. The way in which the bill is brought and piloted is still itself is something surreptitious measure. Surreptitious. Now, I am coming to the objects and reasons of the present bill. The present bill says they are admitting, para 2, based on the recommendations of the High-Level Committee, under the chairmanship of Justice Sachar, and the report of the Joint Parliamentary Committee on Waqf, the Central Waqf Council, and after having detailed consultation and other stakeholders, comprehensive amendments were made in the year 2013. Your admission, unquote. Then you start in the same paragraph, I quote, despite the amendments, please hear, despite the amendments, it has been observed that the Act still requires further improvement to effectively address issues related to the powers of the Waqf Board, registration and survey of the properties, removal of encroachment, including the definition of the Waqf. 5 components. You said, in addition to the 2013, even on the basis of the Sachar Committee report, you wanted to address 5 more components according to you, which are missing in the S12 bill, S12 Act. Let us pursue. Now I come to your 5 pillars. I can easily demonstrate that the definition of the Waqf, it is nothing but artfully confused for the non-existence of Waqf. Removal of the encroachment, it is nothing but empowering the government to grab the Waqf property. survey of the property, it is nothing but a mockery, because Government of India already filed an application, filed an affidavit before the Supreme Court. More than 90% survey is already over. Now you are coming for survey. Registration of work, it is not at all humanly possible according to your text. I will come to that. Powers of the state boards, it becomes recreation club. I will demonstrate. Sir, as a student of law, I got anguish when see the amendments. And I challenge the minister with the due humility. Please show one improvement on these 5 heads beyond the 2013 Act. Then I will ready to salute you. You can't. You can't. On the contrary, Madam Chairperson, I have been in the Parliament more than 22 years. I know the legislative business. Being a lawyer, I am well versed. But have you come across a bill is being brought to the Parliament cunningly and cleverly to remove the amendments which were brought in the 1995 and 2013 after due deliberation and approved by the same Parliament? Yes. If you really honest, you must repeal the 2013. You must repeal the 1995, because most of the amendments brought in 1995 in 2013 were completely removed by way of this amendment. What does it mean? What does it mean? I want to quote the quote of V.R. Krishna, a known jurist. I quote, Parliament is a great inquest of the nation, the great auditor and ombudsman of the executive, the final arbiter, policy monitor and destiny discerner of the people, unquote. I dare to charge the government that this Parliament is being used as a mere ventilating chamber and it has been undermined. It is nothing but an unpardonable onslaught on the constitution religion. One day you will be repent. Now, I will turn to the provisions of the bill. 5 components, definition of the work. My learned friend, including Kalyan Banerjee, everybody, even Akhilesh, my brother Akhilesh, said about the practicing Islam. Then nobody should be indulgent in country once. Where you got all this language? I am a Hindu. I may be a believer. I may not be a believer. But when you are entrusting a property, you must measure my honesty. Whether I am honest or not. If I am a fraud, following the Hinduism is useless and nonsense. You never bother about the honesty and transparency. You are always concerned about only religion. That is the problem. Sir, I have not come across such a provision in any other law in any other country. So what has been the country ones? How can you measure the country ones? So, Islamic practice and I am having, please madam, I can get the time from Congress also. They accepted it. I am coming only definition. Then,
we could not speak in the Parliament.
See, the definition of the buck itself, the attempt that has been made by the government, according to you are saying that not Indian countrymen, your entire attempt, I want to say, it is nothing but a diabolical countrymen. Diabolical countrymen. Then you add new sentences. What are the sentences? Section 3, 3A. What is happened in this country? Have you come across the Transfer of Property Act? Section 3A says, only the real and original owner can donate the property to the work. What is this? Only owner can transfer. If a non-owner transferring the property is not alienated, it is invalid. It is invalid. I can spend my own money. If I am taking money from my brother, it is a stealthy. Why you are breaking such act? I am not able to understand. Then 3B.
और इसीलिए इन्होंने 4 घंटे मांग रहे थे.
Madam, it's a serious issue. Now, all these things are introduced new. Subclass 3C. Any government property identified or declared as work property before or after the commencement of the act shall not be deemed to the work property. How many lawyers in the house I didn't know? How government property identified and declared as a work property. Who identified?
Government.
Who declared?
Government.
Who investigated?
Government.
You will declare, you will identify, this property is my property and it will not deemed as work property. Of course, all constitutional bodies having discretion. Justice Patanjali in 1960 said, yes, we are having judicial discretion, but judicial discretion should not be a caveman discretion. Your discretion here is caveman discretion. So, in the name of the improvement, the government attempts to defeat the concept of work, and you want to snatching the entire work property in the name of the act to the government. Coming to the second, survey of the work properties and removal of the encroachment. That itself is contradictory. Survey of the property is affirmative. Encroachment of the work property is negative. You wanted to club it more in one. Section 4, Madam Chairperson, survey of the property for the work in the STL Act, in the present Act, a survey commissioner has been designated, appointed by the government, independent to the government. He is not an independent government officer. So when dispute comes to the government and the work board, the independent officer must follow the civil procedure code to investigate the title and come to a conclusion. He is a civil court. Now, survey commissioner has been replaced with the district collector.
Yes.
My honest question is, any dispute between the work board and the government, how a collector can be a judge? You know the principle of natural justice. No one can be a judge for his own cause.
Yes.
Same collector is sitting and he is deciding who is the owner of the property. Unknown to the law, unknown to the criminal jurisprudence, unknown to the entire legal fraternity.
जमीन लेना चाहते हैं.
How collector can investigate? Then this bill want to revisit the encroachment. Survey is over, now encroachment. Please hear me. You said you wanted to revisit the enforcement according to recent object. Section 54 deals with encroachment. Please see your bill. Any small attempt? Did you change a full stop and comma? Did you change a single letter in 54? You did not change anything. But you are claiming in the recent object that we wanted to revisit in the bill. On the contrary, what you did it, as my friend put it, 52A, you wanted to make very stringent laws to protect the minorities of the country. The SOL Act says, the present Act says, rigorous imprisonment and penalty. You are saying that it is simple regressment. Simple imprisonment. And the offence committed in the work part presently is cognizable and non-bailable. You are making it bailable. I want to recall the Bilkis Banu. The same thing is happened here also. The next, sir, then tribunals. In 1995 and 2013, Madam Chairperson, as a student of law, again saying, the creation of tribunal itself, we want to segregate the lengthy process of the judicial process in the civil court and high court and supreme court. That is why we are having so many tribunals. Telecom tribunal is there, income tax tribunal is there. Why? There were a lot of cases in the civil court, district municipal court, subordinate court, then district court, then high court. So such a simple and peculiar matter should be referred to the specific court for which the constitution permits you constitute a tribunal. You constitute a tribunal and very clearly said tribunal decision is final. Why it is final? Already survey commissioner has been conferred with the civil court. He is not an individual man. He is an institution under law. He is following CPC. When he is following Civil Procedure Code and Indian Evidence Act, the SOL Act, he himself is court, first court. The second court is tribunal. Third court, it is permitted in the law, on sum motu or on application, it can go to High Court. Where is your problem? Where is your problem? But you wanted to say, tribunal is not final, we will decide. What type of jurisprudence we are having? Then come to the registration. Madam, registration. 36-1. Earlier, 5 minutes. Please, 5 minutes. I will take my time. So, no. If you, yes, minister is having questions.
टाइम बढ़ाइए आप.
Registration.
आपको इसमें भी जल्दबाजी करना है.
Okay, tell. Registration. Come to the registration. Come to the registration. Earlier, the work property can be declared by virtue of section 36(1) as work property after the due process. What are the process? In the act itself says. Now, you want to bring 7A. What 7A says? 7A is a peculiar provision which will defeat the entire work properties. I will read, please permit me to read section 7. Huh? No, section 7. 14. 7 here. Section 7. Oh, no. No. What is removed? 7A. Sorry, Chairperson. No. 7A, now, new provision. It shall not be registered, the property shall not be registered unless the dispute is decided by competent court. The power has been entrusted to the collector. Collector will hear the matter for registration. During the registration, any dispute is found, then the final decision will not be taken. It will be decided by the court. Which court? Up to Supreme Court. Thereafter, section 10, no suit, no appeal will lie upon that. What does it mean? You wanted to say this property is not work property, go for the dispute, it will go to Supreme Court, it will take 30 years, till then this property will be deemed as government property. What does it mean? It will be deemed as a government property. What does it mean? Then come to the register. Register also completely impossible in way it was dropped. Madam Chairperson, the constitution of boards, all members have spoken about. I do not take much time. Why you are injecting non-Muslims? HRNC Act are there in each and every act. Hindu Religious Endowment Board Act are there in all states including Tamil Nadu. What happened in Tamil Nadu? In one temple, so many acres of lands were available under HRNC. Out of the income, HRNC board decided to run a arts college. Recruitments were my professors. On merit, one Muslim came. Immediately, RSS and Hindu Munnani gave a categorical statement. It is our property. Why you are accommodating a Muslim professor? Now we are saying property is something different, religion is something different. Baba, don't teach lessons. My prayer is, our prayer is, religion is something different, politics is something different. Don't mix it. That is our prayer. If you want to save this country with the integration under this secular fabric, please segregate the politics and the religion. Now I come to. No, I am concluding. Section 40. Section 40 very important. Section 40, madam. Any property of the work property converted into trust or converted into society's act, none other than else, by the statutory bodies of the concerned state, is a work property. If it is found by the board, then the board can initiate enquiry according to this act by way of survey and by way of the deciding title, and ultimately it comes to a conclusion it is work property. If it is not there, you leave it. Why you are removing this provision? What is the reason given to this? It was not at all deliberated in the JPC. Madam Chairperson, Madam, I am closing. Madam, 2 minutes, I am closing. Madam Chairperson, lastly, 108A, overriding power, that is the safeguard. Whatever be the special act, take it PCR Act, Prevention of Corruption, Civil Rights, take it SC/ST, take it dowry prohibition, whatever be the special legislation meant either by the Assembly or by the Parliament, such a overriding power must be there to protect the interests of the particular community.
Yes.
You are removing that. At last, soon after the independence, 1 minute, I am closing it. Soon after the independence, the Prime Minister of India, soon after the independence,
Please, Mani sir.
you, one sentence I read to close. Soon after the independence, Prime Minister of India used to write all the Chief Ministers of India, all the states. I am quoting the official record. Letter to the Chief Ministers by the Prime Minister. I quote, I have a great deal of evidence to show an organization which is in the nature of a private army and which is definitely proceeding the strictest Nazi lines, even following the technique of organization. The Nazi party brought Germany to ruin, and I have little doubt if these tendencies are allowed to spread and increase in India, they would do enormous injuries to India. No doubt, India would survive, but she would be grievously wounded and would take long time to recover, unquote. Who said it? Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. What is the organization? RSS.
Thank you.
I want this government.
Mani
Don't go along with RSS. Come to conclusion.
Prasad ji.